We've got a little less than 5 minutes until we go live. Put all your questions in the chat now and we'll get to them. 2 minutes until we're live. Put your questions in now. Every week I accidentally have the mic muted at the beginning. That's okay. So how's it going, everybody? My name is Noah Wickham. I am your host today. I'm brand director here at My Amazon Guy. This is our Friday live Q&A podcast where we answer any and all questions you guys might have. So if you have a question, throw it in the chat now and we'll get to it. We have a ton of good questions I already saw in the chat today, so really excited for this and excited to get started. It's been a good week around here, good weather, and feeling good. So let's hop right on in here. With first and foremost, Gio, happy Friday, Mag Team. Happy Friday, sir. And then as well, glad to be back. Love that. Love to see that kind of excitement. All right, let's see. Do you have recommendations for product inspection companies in China? No, we don't have official partner on this as of yet. There are some good companies I've used in the past. Kuma is one. It's QIMA is one that I've used in the past. They're pretty decent. I think they're one of the leaders for product inspection. They do a ton of different categories, but no real official recommendations. I would just kind of look, check reviews, and look for specific to your category as well, and in the area that you're having your product manufactured in. Geo, our selling count currently has no variations, but Amazon has deactivated due to one or more ASIN variations that violate our ASIN creation policies. How do I proceed in this situation? So this can happen for a few different reasons. One of them being that you may have accidentally created your product as a parent, even when it's not supposed to be. So it can be a standalone product as a parent identity. So that could be exactly what it is. I would like to see what the exact error code is, because there's a couple of different error codes that will throw the one or more ASIN variations issue up when you have that issue. So each one of them has a slight variation of what the actual problem is. So if you have an error code, throw that into the chat, Geo, and we're happy to dig in there. But more than likely than not, what I would do here is probably just focus on delete relist. So delete your product after you download your category listing report. Wait 24 hours, re-upload the product with your correct product template, and it should fix the issue. Make sure you don't have the variation data in that product template filled out, and you should be good to go. Let's see here. I'm going to throw this one up real quick. Someone asking for some free PPC training. A little bit of a plug I will start off with today. One thing here that you can always do. Here at My Amazon Guy, we have a YouTube channel that most of you are probably watching on right now. And if you go to it, you can search up PPC. We have 1,000,001 different PPC videos on all sorts of different topics. So you can always look for free information, free educational content around this on our YouTube channel. We also do a live Q&A podcast every single Tuesday that is entirely PPC focused. We do this with our VP of Marketing, Kevin Sanderson, usually a guest every single week. On top of that, for those wondering for paid, we also have Mag School, which you can always go check out. Mag School has a ton of different courses to look into. We have PPC ones built out from just beginner trying to learn all the way up to very advanced uses. So a little bit of a plug to start out the day today, but thought this was very relevant given the question. So, all right, let's move forward. I was told to launch only exact and phrase campaigns to launch my product. They're overspending even when I cut budget. So if your products are over, or your campaigns are overspending when you cut budget, more than likely than not, what is happening is you have it set for a very specific type of campaign. So you probably more than likely than not, rather than having it down bid only, you probably have up and down bid. And what's going to end up happening there is Amazon can go above your budget and above your bid with that kind of campaign. And that's why you're probably going over. So I would check those campaigns that you have, make sure that when you're creating them, you do down bid only. So we typically here at Mag do down bid only for 90% of our campaigns. There are very few instances where up and down is really necessary, but for the most part, just make sure that you have down bid only and you should be able to fix your problem there. Great. Let's hit on this one. I'm launching my product soon. How do I get strike-through price if I've not historical sales history? Yeah, strike-through price is specifically just setting up a type of pricing. So you have your price, and I'll just open up a random product here. There we go. So for strike-through price, you have a couple of different pricing options when you go to edit your product. So you have your price. This is the price that you are listing your product for sale at. You also have your list price you can see down here. So this one right here, this is the price, let's say an MSRP price, right? What would the list price of this product be? And then finally, you have sales price. So what you need to be doing for a strike through is two things. One, you want to make sure that you have your list price in. So list price will show up and it will say, let's say for this product where we have at $12.95, let's say list price is $14.99. So you'll have your list price and it will show above, and it'll show this $12.99 as your price. And then you want to also include a sale price that is below the $12.99. So if you want that strike through, make sure you have that in there. And that's what's going to give you that strike through for the actual pricing. So hope that kind of helps. That's a very basic understanding. Yes, sales history does play a part in this at the end of the day, but that's going to be your basic way of getting the strike through. Great questions and quick tea break. Talking fast and a ton of questions already. Love it. And we got Jeffrey back again. Welcome back. I manage several accounts for others and have my own seller account as well. I don't want Amazon to flag me for terms of service violations. Where should my name and email not appear / overlap to avoid issues? All right. So this is a pretty common thing that we get. And what he's talking about is setting up an Amazon drone account. So a drone account is one in which you will have it's how we utilize and do all of our agency work. Essentially, what you do is you go through the entire process of going into Seller Central, setting up your own account like you would if you were going to sell. But when they ask you for payment information and for all of your legal entity stuff, you stop it there. So you don't do anything past that point, and you do not move forward with any of that registration. What this allows is from that point, we can then use that same email that we are using to set up there when we are adding that as a secondary user onto other accounts. The way that this works is essentially you have your own Amazon account, but you can then log into a bunch of different accounts through that drone account. So how is this useful and what to avoid in the circumstance, especially with you having your own Amazon account? So first and foremost, Jeff, the biggest thing you want to avoid here is just making sure that you don't have another seller account without Amazon's permission. So Amazon's gotten a lot more lax with this if you have different businesses and different brands and different products. But for the most part, you want to make sure you don't have the same credit card. You're not using the same address on any of these different accounts that you sell on. And you want to make sure that essentially your business information is all separate as well. Past that, when it comes to dealing with your account versus the other accounts, I would highly suggest that you set up a drone account specific for any of these sellers that you work on as an agency or a provider. That way it's separate from your own business. You could set this drone up as a secondary user on your own selling account as well, but just make sure it's not the primary seller on your selling account. That's going to be your biggest thing there. And then past that as well, never log in, obviously, to another seller's primary admin ownered email. That'll get you, linked, shut down pretty quickly. But you should be good to go if you set up a drone account. No real issue there. No name changes or anything like that. If you look on the back end of all of our client accounts, every single one of our drone accounts has the name Stephen Pope on it, right? So not a huge issue to do that. All right, Geo. We have an ASIN that was suppressed because it lacks a product description. But when I upload it under the Fix Your Products page, nothing happened. How can I fix it, please? Yep, so this is going to be a super easy fix here, Geo. So essentially, same exact thing I was talking about earlier with the delete and relist. I would probably just move through that step exactly. What you just have to do is, again, make sure you download your catalog or category listing report first. Get all the product information that you have. I would absolutely make sure that you don't do this under the Fix Your Products. Amazon's backend is just really buggy. So the point of doing a flat file update is to make sure that essentially everything will go through as is, and you get that little error code when you do that as well. So you actually know if there's an other error outside of what you're trying to fix. So definitely go with the flat file here. Make sure you do a full upload when you're doing this and just do the full product over again. Hope that helps. The Thinkerish, welcome back. How to remove the Canada link market. Thank you. If you're talking about specifically when you're on Amazon and you have, for instance, and let's see if I can even pull this up here. I don't think I can, but if you're talking about when up in the top right or left there where it says your store and then wherever you're on the US and you have Canada, for instance, you can't. Unfortunately, you just can't. When you sign up for the US, you're technically signing up for North America. So the way that Amazon works with that is that we have global selling. So I'll take us to the global selling page real quick. So under global selling, all of these are linked. So the Americas, when you're signed up for One America, you're going to have all of the different Americas marketplaces, even Brazil, even though it's South America. I don't know. Either way. Same thing with Europe. When you do one of them, you will get the other European marketplaces starting to pop up. Same thing with Asia and same thing with the Middle East. So Americas is the one where you have to have all of them. These other ones, you can usually pick and choose which one of the marketplaces. But unfortunately, no way to just fully remove it. You can always just make sure your product isn't listed there, and that'll fix most of your issues. Jeff, how's it going? Did Amazon update the character count for backend keywords again? Someone just told me it is now 500. I wish. No, from what I know, they've been slowly changing it back and forth for different categories, different products, things like that, seeing how well it's being utilized. I would highly, highly advise until Amazon puts out another official notice saying that they are doing 500 keywords to just stick with 250, because more than likely than not, you're going to end up still having to do just 250 at some point when they inevitably revert their decision, right? So, they put out this saying, hey, we're going to do 500, and then they put out news saying, hey, we're taking it back. Let's just wait again until they say that they're going to do the 500 and go from there. But I really doubt that they're going to keep it at 500 for really any extended period of time. Let's see here. Let's go with, we got a couple of starred up in here. Andy, thank you for the 5. And again, Andy for the 20. I'm trying to find your thing here, Andy. Let's see if I can find it real quick, and then we'll hit that. Here we go. May I ask you to get these tips yourself? Sure. I do not get the tips myself. It's fine. Let's see. There we are. We have discounted a product and sold a lot in the last few weeks, but we are now dropping this color for good, and I fear we are going to be hit big time with low inventory fees. To avoid low inventory fees. Can I just close the listing for 20 days and following that slow sell out of the few we have left at a higher price? Technically, yeah, that's going to be one route that you could go. You're not gonna, I mean, if you close the listing, you're not going to obviously be able to continue selling it, and you're going to end up with stranded inventory. But yeah, that's going to be your best route. You can also, one thing I have seen people start to do is actually ticket Amazon directly and say, hey, I am going to be getting out of this, out of this realm for all of this product. I don't want to sell it anymore. We are planning on fully selling out and not restocking. Go from there, and they usually will come back and say, okay, thank you for letting us know. And that can be one way to try and circumvent. Doubtful if it will work for you every single time. But if you plan on not restocking something, yeah, just make sure that you sell through it and then go from there. If you're selling, less than 10 units a month, just pull it out of stock, right? Because at that point you definitely will. But once you get under that 20 aspect, you should be good to go. Great question though, Andy. Let's hop back up. Let's see, we got a bunch of different questions here today, guys. You guys are filling up the chat. Where were we? Here we go. Geo again. We have an ASIN that was suppressed because it lacks a product description. But when I upload it under the fix your products page, even feed file upload, nothing happened. How can I fix it, please? Oh, okay. So the feed file is what wasn't working as well here. Geo, got it. So one, you should always be getting an error with that feed file. Two, if the feed file isn't working, you need to make sure you're doing a delete relist. You can always, with your products, be pushing it forward, right, with the feed file. But if you're not getting anywhere with it, delete the product out, do a relist with the feed file after 24 hours. You want to wait that 24 hours because you want it out of your system entirely, and then you will do the feed file re-upload. From there, as well, you want to make sure you're doing a full upload and not a partial upload. If you're only doing a partial, you're likely still running into issues there. And those are going to be kind of your best steps forward. Harris, hey, welcome back. I'm doing well. I'm glad to see you back. All right, we got Jeff again. If you add metadata keywords on your main and gallery image, will Amazon algorithm pick them up? I can add them through Photoshop now. I don't know about specifically metadata. If you do alt text, yes, Amazon picks up alt text. I'm not positive on the metadata. I haven't heard anything or seen anything to substantiate that claim. It would kind of be doubtful in my mind that it would pick that up. I know, for instance, the name of the photo that you upload can sometimes have an impact. The thing I would say here is the reward aspect of it is probably very, very minimal. I can't imagine, for instance, without, already sucking at all of the rest of your keywords, if that's really going to have any form of major impact on your ranking when it comes to, any of the keywords. So, I don't know. To answer your question there, Jeff, I would imagine probably not, just based on how Amazon works right now. Focus on alt text and, if you want to, add a title onto your images. Hey, how are you? I'm doing well. What do you think about 9yard? So choose your own Amazon warehouse to send. I don't actually think I know 9yard. Is that a 3PL? Let's take a look here, I guess. Modular e-commerce software solution. Yeah, I've never really looked into these guys. I really don't have an opinion on them. I guess I'll look into them post show today, but never really looked into them or anything. Let's see here. Jan, I'm a new seller on Amazon. What badges would be easy to target and achieve? There's a ton of different badges on Amazon. I mean, it depends on what your product is, right? So for those who don't know, he's probably talking about, we go over here to different badges. Let's explore our programs. Let me share my screen here for you guys so you can see what I'm seeing. Here we go. So if you go under growth opportunities here, there is explore programs. There's a bunch of different badges down here that you can start to get. So if you come down here, let's see, we have sustainability, ships and product packaging, climate friendly, renewed, use, climate pledge, renewable energy, all of these. You can also do Small business, that's another one. The small business one, you just have to submit some documentation for tons and tons of different badges you can get on Amazon. Small business is probably the only one that's going to be really feasible unless you have all of the documentation from like your manufacturer for all of the climate ones. But that's the one I would probably just go after if you're going to go after one. But even then, it's kind of iffy on whether or not it's actually going to prove all that useful for you at the end of the day when it comes to brand new product and conversion. Let's see here. Bish, thank you. Not a problem. Ali, welcome back. Good afternoon to yourself. I am doing very well. We assigned a new client yesterday on my agency. Hey, congrats. Love that. I love that. Love seeing that. Love hearing that, especially with all the questions you guys are sending over all the time. I love it. Not a problem, Geo. I would like to clarify that isn't the ASIN got deactivated, but our Amazon selling account as a whole. Help. Oh, Amazon selling account got deactivated. I would have to ask what you get deactivated for, because it's pretty rare for them to just deactivate you for an ASIN variation issue. If your whole account is deactivated, then I would just submit an appeal on that. Some steps when it comes to submitting appeals is usually if they aren't going to pass you on the first pass, take ownership. That's one of the key pillars with submitting an appeal for reactivation is take ownership. Also, make sure to check all of your account info is updated and correct. With them recently in the Inform Act, they have been recently retargeting people every couple of months to redo the Inform Act since it was passed last fall. So definitely look into that. But it would really depend, Gio, unfortunately, on what the deactivation is specifically for and how we could help you. I mean, if you want to shoot over some info to podcast@myamazonguy.com, all those emails, I see them all and everything. So you can definitely shoot it over there. I'm happy to try and help you further there. Let's see here. Copy. Unfortunately, guys, I don't speak Spanish yet. I am learning my best as time goes on. At some point in time, I will try and do one of these in Spanish for you. Jeff, again, title lengths are different for different categories. How do you find out the max title length for a category? No matter what category, Amazon is going to tell you limit it to 80. That's a no. Yeah, Jeff. So, I mean, first and foremost, this is going to be product dependent, right? So the easiest way is probably just going to be looking in your backend. When you get to actually adding on the title, you can usually just see how many characters you can put on the title in the backend. As well as I think there actually is a resource. I want to check real quick on the actual categories. Let me see here, Jeff. I'll find it for you. If not, I'll find it after this and I'll post it on LinkedIn for you. I'm not seeing it specific. Yeah, I can't find the specific. Amazon has a few articles on this. I'll try and find after this, Jeff, and post it on LinkedIn if you want to go and check it out there as well. I mean, the reality is I think it's only 1 or 2 different categories that allow it, and most all are just 200 as is. But Amazon's always going to recommend 80 to 120 characters. All right. Jamie, thank you for time. Not a problem. I love being here. Love being able to answer all these questions for you guys. Richard, I manufacture a 11-inch sander that I sell on Amazon. Okay. My listing shows sold by a company that is not ours. I think it is a branding issue. Can you direct me to the best way to get official branding? All right. So a couple of things here, Richard. Number 1, do you have a trademark? If you do not have a trademark, you need to get a trademark. If you need help getting a trademark, go on over to our website and look up, I think it's myamazonguy.com/trademark, and we can help you with trademark services. I think we usually do a flat $9.25. Go over there, check that out. We're more than happy to help you with that. Now, if you already have a trademark, you need to register for brand registry with that trademark, even if it's pending. You do that by going to brandregistry.amazon.com, and you can register your brand there. Make sure you're signed in with the same seller account that you sell under. For the product issue, it sounds heavily like you are having issues with hijackers. And if that's the case, you really, really need to make sure you're brand registered. Now, if you're already brand registered and still having this issue, 2 different things you need to do. You need to open up a case with seller support immediately, and then you need to open a case with brand registry support as well. You need to make them known of this issue. And then on top of that, you need to make sure that your ASIN is getting properly linked to your brand. Brand registry will be able to help you with this. They will try and pass you off to seller support. Make sure that when they do that, you link the seller support case that you already have active. This will speed up the entire process immensely. But that's kind of your general steps that you're going to have to take there, Richard. Really sucks dealing with hijackers. If you don't, like I said, if you don't have a trademark or anything right now, reach out to us. We're more than happy to help you file one. And usually we do it a lot cheaper than any of those law offices. So more than happy to help there, Richard. Performance notification email said we have deactivated your account because you created one or more ASIN variations that violate our ASIN creation policies. Yeah, this is just a simple appeal then, Gio. I'm not really worried about that. Typically speaking, you want to do a few things in your appeal. You want to call account health assurance. So if you go to your account health section, there'll be a little call me now thing for account health assurance. Call them. They'll give you the exact reasoning behind the specific ASINs in question. From there, make sure those ASINs don't have any issues. If they don't have any issues, stay on the call with them when you realize that, and they will definitely help you out there. They're pretty helpful compared to seller support because their entire goal is to try and fight seller support in some cases. But past that as well, just submit an appeal. They'll tell you exactly what to put in that appeal. They're really useful with that, but this isn't super worrisome from an appeal standpoint for me. It is odd to have your entire account deactivated there. I would be a little concerned as to what you actually kind of broke. This is not a variation issue. This is usually just an ASIN issue creation wise. One thing that can cause this, now that just popped in my head, if you have any form of software that manages your listings, your catalog, or anything, make sure that you know how that is set up for how it is pushing things. I have seen actually before where people didn't realize their software was essentially deleting and relisting ASINs like every hour. And that's definitely a big issue. So that's a very out there case, but it could be possible here. Gian, when people say, so set a budget of $30 to $50 per day, do they mean per campaign or $30 to $50 budget across campaigns? What budget do you recommend? So if you're saying a budget per day, I'm going to assume you mean for your entire account. If you say set a campaign budget, I'm going to assume you mean the campaign budget. So it depends obviously on what the people are talking about. So budgets are determined in 2 or 3 different ways, I suppose you could say. Number one is you can set a daily budget. So you can set an amount that you are not able to spend over on your account. That will be your daily budget. Once you hit it, you're out, your ads are turned off. 2 would be a campaign level budget, which is what you also were talking about here, where you can say, I only want to spend $10 per day on this campaign. And that campaign, once it runs out of money from people clicking on it, it will run out of money. It'll stop for the day. Doesn't matter if that's at 2 a.m. or 5 p.m. It will stop. Those are like the 2 primary ones. And then the third is just obviously bid level adjustments, right? So like that's not really a budget, so to speak, but more so how much am I spending on each one of these different keywords more than anything. So that one usually doesn't have a cap, but yeah, I mean, if you're worried about budgets or anything like that, look at day parting. That's a great tool within Amazon. I love that one. You can only really go up with day parting, but either way. Joseph, what exactly is cannibalization? How can I see if I suffer from it? So cannibalization it's a good way to explain this. Cannibalization on Amazon can happen in a few different ways. So the most common is, for instance, like advertising cannibalization. So if you are cannibalizing your own ads, what that typically means is you have multiple different ads with the same exact target set up, and you have one ad that is, eating budget of another ad because it's, performing way better. At least it seems that way. But the reality is the bid for the keyword that you're targeting on both ads is just, $2 higher or something, right? That's like a basic form of cannibalization. The other form would be if you have, for instance, multiple products that are all being targeted against each other in a certain way. So you can have some healthy cannibalization as well. It's usually considered self-targeting campaigns, and self-targeting cannibalization campaigns are kind of where you set up campaign, you're targeting your own listings and your own products and your own brand. The point of this is not so much to take away sales from your own products into other products, and more so to keep other people away from it. So it's a lot better to spend $1 to get the sale regardless, even if like somebody was clicking around, than to not spend that dollar and possibly not have any form of sale, right? So that's usually what people mean by that cannibalization. Great question. I haven't actually gotten that one before. Ah, a little bit more tea. The throat is getting a little dry. All right. Where are we at? No, I'm starting to use 9yard to choose warehouse set. That's fine. Amazon can block account. Yeah, I mean, if you're using a software to send out shipments and whatnot, that's not an issue. If it's connected directly into Amazon, that's not an issue either. The software, right? So, I mean, again, I'll look into it after this and try and make sure that I'm aware of what 9yard fully does. But if they're connected via Amazon API, then yeah, definitely you're fine. Let's see next. Andy. Oh, I already did this one. Hey, guy. Hey. I am doing well. I'm doing well. I'm happy today. Happy to be here with you guys. Happy to answer these questions. When I go to the store, people are able to see my home address. How do I change it such that people can see? Ooh, good question. So let me see if I can show you guys on this. So essentially, when you are setting up your store, there's a few different areas. Let me see if I have access to on this account, which let's see. It doesn't look like I have access on this account, unfortunately. So a few different ways here, but essentially under your under the little cog icon top right, you're going to scroll down and you're going to see an area for your info and policies. I think I actually might be able to do it from here. It doesn't look like it, unfortunately. Yeah, so you're gonna see a place for your info and your policies. In that place for your info and your policies, make sure to update your address. So you can also do this, and it's going to be essentially called your profile, and that profile is where that address is going to be. You also can make sure to update your address on the actual store info section. That works sometimes as well, but no matter what, you have to have some form of address there in that box. If your address just happens to be for your business, your home address, you gotta find some other address to put there. Many people run their businesses from their house. I wouldn't worry about it. The amount of people that are actually sending anything to your address or anything like that, very, very minimal. I've been on working with Amazon for, close to 10 years at this point, and yeah, no person has ever shown up the address. So just as a FYI, but you can definitely change it under the policy info. All right, Geo, we're trying to create a shipment here. Can the units per box and individual units be created together in one shipment? Yeah. I mean, there's no reason why not. You can just do a secondary line item. So, I mean, if you're, I'll just open up a shipment here for you, Geo. But yeah, I mean, you can just send inventory in on multiple different products. So if I send to Amazon, let's do this. Share my screen for you for 2 seconds here, Geo. I'm just going to start a new workflow here. Let's say I have this one right here where we have 48 count box. So I can just do this where I do, one box of this, and then I do more inputs, add a packing line, and then I can do individual units here, and I can do 10 units. So now when I send both these, I can, of this one single product, do one box of 48 units plus doing individual units of 10. So pretty simple stuff there, but yeah, just do the more inputs and add another packing line. John, Let's see here. Give me 1 second. When I go to the store, people are able to see my home address. How do I change it such that people can't see my? Oh, we already answered that one. Where am I at? Here we are. Lost my place there, guys. We're an agency and signing a new client. Congrats. And they currently have a distributor, which is selling the product on their Vendor Central account, which they don't give us access to. Can we get around this? Not really. Vendor Central has end all, say all. Unfortunately, when you're selling on Amazon, you have to ask them for permission for pretty much everything. So if they're selling on Vendor Central is going to be the biggest pain in the butt for you in the world. The reason for this is, again, they have the final say on everything that happens with a listing. Can you still troubleshoot on their Seller Central side and do everything? Yeah, but you can't optimize really hardly at all from the Seller Central side, at least while they're still doing vendor. Unfortunately, no. I would just try and get them to give you access to it so that you can help them. Easy as that. I'm Amazon virtual assistant. Okay, yeah, we have tons of openings if you want to apply on our website, myamazonguy.com/jobs. We got tons of openings over there. Feezy Touch. Hi, I'm about to launch a product around $100. Do you think the pricing strategy you presented recently, launch the product minus 50% on off the initial, yep, is adapted for this product price? Yeah, it's adapted for any price. So if you're launching a product at $100, I'm going to assume that most of your competitors are in that same ballpark of $100. If that's the case, same principle applies. It doesn't matter if your product is $10, 50, 100, $10,000. Cut it in half, right? And if it's reasonably priced compared to your competitors, you're going to be doing pretty well in the first couple of weeks. Price is the number one converting factor on Amazon. That is just the case. It always will be the case. So if you are looking to try and get your product seen and known, take a look at price. That being said, you got to have a good listing as well. Let's see. What are the best pre-launch marketing strategy you can recommend? Set up an exact campaign, down bid only. Set up a broad campaign as well. You want to target your top 5 keywords in both of those. You do not want to go for these campaigns over 5 keywords. You want to also set up an auto campaign. This auto campaign is going to be hitting on your products. You're going to be utilizing that to figure out and harvest search terms for your other 2 campaigns. That's where you're going to start. Be moderate with your bidding strategy. Make sure you understand what your market is. Set up one competitor targeting campaign as well. Figure out essentially your top 5 to 10 competitors, add them into one campaign and focus there. That's going to be kind of your go-to-market strategy along with the pricing that we just talked about. Joseph again, what's the best steps to bring an account's tacos down from, let's say, 11% to 7%? Without hurting sales? I know each account is unique, but in general, what would the steps be like? So bringing tacos down. So for those who don't know, tacos is total advertising cost of sale. So it essentially means you're taking what you're spending on advertising, you're dividing that by how much sales you're getting, and you're getting your tacos. So bringing from 11 to 7 down without hurting sales, you're not necessarily hurting sales, right? So what you're doing there, the best way to do it is increase your organic. And how do you increase your organic? A few ways. You could do a slashing of price for a while, so a strike through of some kind, get some promotion from there. You could do a coupon for a while. What you're really trying to do is, from an advertising perspective, target your top keywords in your organic side, right? So look at where you're currently ranking best on your top keywords. Really target those to try and move your placement up. If you move your placement up, you're going to get more organic sales in, which is going to kind of offset where you're at from a tacos a cost perspective, right? So if you don't change any of what you're doing from the advertising side and just focus more heavily on those, you'll slowly see that tacos decrease as you gain ranking and gain BSR. Great question. Love that one. Let's see. Where are we at? I think I see Andy. Oh, there we are. Ollie. Amazon's backend system is the worst. Ain't that the truth, Ollie? And then I have a helper on the back end here, who I am hoping can give me the one from Andy I'm looking for. I think Andy just put in another one recently. So we'll get to that one right after this one from Viper. When is the latest I can ship into Amazon for Q4? That depends on what they tell us this year. There it is, Andy for $1.99. But yeah, it depends on what they tell us this year. And years past, shipping in Q4 has typically been, I think you can do it up until like the third, fourth week of October, and that's like a guarantee. But it changes every single year on the exact date. So the earlier, the better is usually what I'm going to tell you for that. There it is. Andy, thank again for the little dono. Can I email a customer who complimented our product in the feedback section and ask if they would mind copying to the product review section? I've never done that. Unfortunately, Andy, I've never actually done that. That seems a little up in the air for me. I think that you can typically say, hey, you can definitely say to a client, hey, thank you for the valued feedback. We really appreciate it. If you have any other feedback for for the product or any reviews, feel free to submit. You can definitely do that. But asking them directly saying, hey, can you please copy this over to this product? That I would be a little against. I don't know that's exactly against TOS, but I would definitely be hesitant there. All right. Abdullah, I watched your video related Amazon FBA calculator, but can you explain? My mind is not working in FBA fees. Yeah, let me actually just pull this up for you guys. We'll do a little FBA fee calculator for next 2 minutes here or so. Very quick overview for you guys. Let's do this product. Give me 1 second. I'll pull it up and we'll do it. Let's go to the revenue calculator. There we go. All right. So for those who don't know, this is the Amazon revenue calculator. You can get here by going to any single one of your products under the estimated fee per sold. Click it, come to the revenue calculator, click up here, and you'll get to this screen. So just a very quick overview. The reason I like this is because it gives us a very, very easy way of essentially seeing exactly what we're going to be making from an FBM or an FBA standpoint. I like doing this comparison graph. This is really cool as well. Some key areas. Your item price, is it going to be the same FBA versus FBM? Maybe, maybe not. Just depends. Shipping charge. Do you charge anything for shipping with FBM? Most of the time, I don't recommend this just from the aspect of, people don't want to pay for shipping. So I wouldn't recommend that. Sale price, FBM, I wouldn't add that. Then we get down to Amazon fees here. They should be fairly the same across the board. The only thing that's going to change here is fulfillment costs. So we obviously know what our FBA fulfillment cost is going to be. Fulfillment cost from the FBM side. So when you are fulfilling the product, you should have a good idea of that. That's usually for the average seller going to be a little bit higher than FBA. I would usually say it's going to be around $5 to $6, right? Now, there's a few things to keep in mind here as well that most people forget to add when doing FBM. Whether you have your own warehouse or you have a 3PL, people forget to add labor, packing materials, shipping cost, and customer service. That's a big one. People sometimes forget to pay themselves. How much time are you dedicating per week? Is it 2 hours, 3 hours to customer service on orders? I don't know. But how much do you pay yourself, whether it's hourly or salary? Make sure you include that. And that's where a lot of people, I think, get this misconception that FBM is truly way cheaper than FBA in this day and age. I just don't think that's genuinely true most of the time from an aspect of how much effort, how much work is really going into this. Imagine if every single order is going to cost you 25 cents, right, for labor. Imagine that from the aspect of someone is doing it for $15 an hour. They're getting out, I don't know what the math is there, but somewhere around the ballpark of 45 to 60 orders an hour. It's pretty slow, but still you get my point. Packing materials, again, imagine, I don't know, 5 cents for every single box, shipping to the customer. Imagine that as $5. And then customer service, if you're spending 3 hours a week, what is that? And how much is that per order? It could be something. I don't know what it is, but all of those things need to add in. And then, of course, storage. Even if you have a 3PL, all of that, you can figure this kind of stuff out. They usually should send you a transactionary list for all of these different numbers if you work with a 3PL. If you don't and you do your own stuff, you kind of have to come up with it just from doing a little bit of math. But the reality is, the reason I like this is because it can show us very clearly, where's the cost and what is the profit, FBM versus FBA, even coming down to storage and how many units are sold per month. So hope that helped Abdullah. Again, for anyone curious, I did an entire kind of video going over this a little bit more in depth than this, and go ahead and watch it on our YouTube channel. Helps a ton. So great question. I love going over that stuff. Let's see here. Are fees increased for Q4 for placement and other fees? Not to my knowledge. Placement, maybe. Who knows? It's brand new, right? So they could just come out with something in the next couple of weeks that says, yeah, we're increasing our fees for Q4. I would not be surprised. We do have increased storage fees for Q4, but placement, I'm not too sure. But storage, yes, Q4 is definitely increased. Shipping usually gets a little bit of a bump as well, but nothing like referral fees or anything like that. Great question. All right, let me get a little bit of tea in me. Ooh, Viper with another one. How to reduce the amount of money Amazon takes for account level reserves. I've sold 1,800 products and I've been selling for 4 months. So you're just going to have to deal with it, unfortunately. So the thing with account level reserves is that Amazon is taking it from the perspective, Viper, of you're going to get returns. You are still new, so they are still building a trust factor with you, and you are still trying to get essentially all of what you are putting out as lower. So a few things you can do about this. One, if you're selling on FBA, it usually can get lowered a little bit faster. Two, and this is the really big one. You just gotta wait it out. I have seen sellers that are doing 100, 250K a month who are still only getting, payouts every 2 weeks rather than being able to get them daily. It's just the truth. And it's because they scale really, really fast and Amazon isn't going to trust them. So it really is just a waiting game. There's no special strategy here, no special tactic outside of just being trustworthy, having a low return rate for your products, and just having some good time with it. So, 4 months, it's a pretty short amount of time, short lived, even for 1,800 products, unfortunately. Let's see here. Joseph, thank you. I'm optimizing daily for all bad spenders, but I'm only upbidding once a month because I need a lot more data to upbid. I need a lot more data to upbid than downbid. Overall, does that seem like a good strategy? Ooh, it depends on what you mean by upping. I mean, if you're saying specifically like upping the bids, no. I mean, I would do that at least once a week if you're trying to do that. I understand the data aspect of it, but that seems like a low amount of time to be doing that once a month. I guess it depends on how many campaigns and how many products you have. The fewer campaigns you have, the less data you're going to get. So I can understand if it's a longer period then, but in reality, you should be doing a lot more testing that and a lot more working on that. So if you're talking just like from a bidding strategy only, like doing up bids, I'm not a fan of up bids personally. Maybe up and down, but primarily down bidding only. So I mean, from that aspect, that's my opinion there. But I would highly suggest you at least look at doing it from a weekly perspective. Mbesh, what is your advisory for finding client Amazon sellers as a freelance, especially in USA? Make content. That if you want to provide value to people, make sure people see that you provide value. Make content. I'm here every single Friday, right? Talking to all you, answering all your questions. Love doing it. And I know that we get a ton of clients coming in. I know that you guys are all, becoming relatively successful, having your questions answered, all sorts of make content, help people. That's, the best way to get connected and then also to, potentially work with them. Right. So We don't expect anyone to actually come out of this, but it's, a good value add. We like being an education company first and foremost. Has worked for us to put all this content out. Andy again. Oh no, Andy. Let's see. Oh, that was Andy's old question. Got it. What is your tips about client hunting? Yep, same thing I was just saying to Limbesh. Please, I want to hear your feedback. Sure. We almost received container to Long Beach, but Amazon pushed me to send inventory to New York. I'm using 9yard to choose our Amazon warehouse near the Long Beach. Okay. That is correct to work with them. We can choose LA warehouse, but I want to hear your feedback. Yeah, I mean, if you are you can always choose a specific warehouse. It just costs more money. Amazon charges you for choosing the placement of the product. It's with the new inbound placement fee. It depends really. I don't like choosing one specific warehouse. I personally would want my products to be in multiple warehouses around the country, and Amazon will likely move them to multiple warehouses as is. But I don't have really a favorite Amazon warehouse, to be honest. There's a couple of them where I'm like, yeah, you're gonna probably take some extra time, like the one in Connecticut. The one outside Atlanta isn't the worst. I like that one pretty well. But the reality is, I don't see a major thing outside of what is it costing you to transport it to the warehouse. That's really all that matters at the end of the day. Abdullah. Hello. What is your PPC strategy? New account and old and daily budget, which is already succeed. I guess I'm not really fully understanding the question. I think you're asking, what it was the best PPC strategy for a new account, old and daily budget. All of that is relative. I think like the entire question is relative. And I don't mean that in any sort of negative way. I mean strictly from how much does your client have to spend? What are the products? What is the average cost per click? I mean, think of it. If a product's average cost per click for its top keyword is $5, but you only have a $20 budget on a daily, yeah, you're going to run some issues there. So a lot of that's very relative, a little bit too broad, unfortunately. Let's see. Are fees different if your shipment arrives after the end of September into Amazon? I don't believe end of September. I think, like I said, it's around the second week of October that starts, but I could be wrong there. Amazon always puts out a new date every single year for this as to when those fees are expected. Typically, those fees, yes, are going to start like right towards the beginning of Q4. So always try and make sure you get in early. But when it comes with like storage fees, all of that, shipping fees, all of those increases, yeah, those are going to start like pretty much right near the beginning of Q4. Thank you, Noah. You're the goat. And thanks, guys. Oh, Adriana, how's it going? Do you know how to combine the total reviews out of these variation? Here is my listing. Let me see if I can grab that. I don't know if I can actually grab the link to that. Let's just grab the ASIN. I can do that much. Give me 1 second, Adriana, and I will pull it up. More than likely, if I had to take a wild guess, you're going to probably show me something where it's not combined, and all that's going to be is opening a case. So we have B0CHLNJT2F. Let's take a look. Let's share this screen here just for everyone's reference. If you ever can't get into a link, you can always just add the ASIN up at the top for a random product. Wow, a lot of variations. A lot of variations here, Adriana. So it looks to me, you have 56 here, 2 here. So my guess, first and foremost, is that you did not parent this correctly, because we have a lot of variations, and every single one of them is different. I would highly suggest you do a few things here. One, go ahead and deparent the entire thing. Take every single child variation out. Make sure that all of the child variations are exact, just on their own. This is going to take, roughly 24 hours if you do it all at once. I would only do that via flat file. Secondly, from that aspect, I would then make sure when you do it, re-upload them via flat file for the variation. If you're still having issues merging them, this can sometimes be one of two things, usually an UPC issue of some kind, but more likely than not, it is just a parent issue was not properly set up. So don't merge them into the same parent when you do it via flat file. Make an entirely new parent there so that they all merge correctly. Do not use Amazon's variation wizard. You will absolutely still run into these problems. It's very, very common. So that's what I would probably focus on there, Adriana. Let's see here. Jamie, it's an app to choose your own warehouse at your convenience. Yeah, I mean, you can do that, Jamie, on Amazon's backend as well. You can choose your own warehouse. They just charge you an extra fee for it. I know that apps like 9 Yards exists and whatnot. I do say there's hesitancy there. And the reason I say that is because Amazon definitely will kick you out and be really angry at you and potentially deactivate you if you are creating like hundreds of different shipments. I've seen it multiple times now where people, and I've, like I said, never used 9 Yards, but I know of other ones like it where it does that exact same thing. And yeah, people have gotten deactivated over it because what the software does is it essentially creates and recreates and recreates and recreates hundreds of shipments until it gets the exact one that you want. Amazon doesn't like that, obviously, because it's just an API call that's constantly doing it and bogging down their system. So I would be very hesitant with that if that's fully what 9 Yards does. All right. Did I already answer this one? No. When you start at 50%, when launching a product, how do you get competitive advantage when sales for your non-seasonal subcategory are low across the board as well for competitors and keyword volume is low? You chose a product in a low volume category. I mean, that's just what it is. Unfortunately, when you're choosing products for any type of category, doing research on the category for volume is always going to be important. The most you can really do here is target all of the competitors, target the top keywords in the category, and dominate the heck out of your low volume category, right? If you can take 90% of all of the sales from a category that's only getting 100 sales, take that 90 sales, right? So unfortunately, there's not much you can do. I mean, you can look at doing some broad targeting, doing a relaunch of your product into a different kind of category that makes a little bit more sense maybe. But for the most part, you're just going to be stuck with the sales. I mean, that's just how people are currently purchasing. Rosina, thanks for tips and guidance. Can I request a screen share on how to create a custom URL for the brand store on Amazon? Yeah. So if you're talking specifically, and I'll just use this same product that was already up here. So a few different things here, Rosina. So the thing is, it's not just for brand store. It's for any type of product. Oh, I can't screen share this. I can't screen share my URL. All right. So unfortunately, Rosina, no. What I can do is tell you this. You can change the 5 keywords in the URL of a brand store, in the URL of an ASIN. You can change them anywhere. I made a post on this a little while back. It's called Vanity URL. Steven's made one as well. All you have to do is ticket Amazon. So just send to seller support the exact ASIN or your brand store. Give them the keywords that you want up there and they will change it. It takes a little bit of time. They're not going to tell you no. They have no reason to. They have to send it off to their engineer team. But yeah, absolutely, they can change it. It's not a big deal. Viper, what are some do and don'ts and hope to find qualified inspectors? I don't really have a huge thing on this, Viper. Again, the do's is do your own research, look at reviews, make sure they're not scamming you. The don'ts, don't get scammed. Don't choose someone shady just because they're a lower price, and make sure they know what they're doing. At the end of the day, I don't have a great answer here. Gian, I have a UPC barcode from GS1. Should I print this on my packaging, or do you recommend still getting the FN SKU labels from Manage Inventory to print on my packaging? Which is more beneficial to use? If you can sign up and have Amazon use your own manufacturer barcode, do it. It saves you money. It makes your life easier. If you're using GS1, you're not going to run into some UPC issue down the line. Absolutely do it. There is no reason not to utilize GS1 and manufacturer barcode if you have the ability. The only time I see it is when people want to potentially leave their Amazon inventory separate from like the rest of their inventory for some reason, which I don't understand that either. So from that aspect, yeah, no, you should be good to go there. Geo again. After attempting to refresh and delete the stranded ASIN, which was flagged due to the listing error, the issue still persists. What additional steps should we take to resolve this? So I guess after refresh and delete the stranded ASIN, which is flagged due to listing it, the issue still persists. Is this in regard, Geo, to the account deactivation or the description issue? Because if it's the account deactivation, you're probably going to have issues because you can't just delete your way out of problems, and you probably still have to go through the appeal. Make sure that you, again, call them, ask them what the issue is, fix the issue. And if you can't fix the issue, then you need to appeal, let them know you're no longer going to be selling the product if it is an actual issue. The biggest thing there as well is, again, make sure you're doing full updates, not partial. And you're waiting 24 hours in between delete and relist. I have ASIN with old UPC, and I want to update UPC on this ASIN. Is there an easy way for it? Yep. Easiest way to do this, create yourself a brand new listing. You want to have that listing be essentially the exact same as your other listing, except with your new UPC. Now what you're going to do is you're going to ticket to seller support to get those ASINs merged. You can also do this by going into the backend, add product, add existing product, and merge them. So you'll just have to look at those two products. They'll say, oh, do you have duplicate products here? And then you'll click those and you will merge them. You want to make sure you do this with the new UPC and new listing. Don't try and update the old UPC because you'll run into a ton of issues there. What is your tips about client hunting? I think I already answered that one. Let's actually take a break here. Get a little bit of water in me, huh? Throat is getting extra dry today. Extra dry. It's because I'm answering all these questions. All right, let's see here. Ricardo, in which cases would having a custom package be essential and just shipping in a regular unbranded box is enough? I'm especially considering for bundles I'm about to launch. It's a great question. What I usually suggest, and this is all coming down to how much you want to spend. If you are a brand new brand, you're trying out a product for the first time, and you are sending it into Amazon, don't waste a ton of time and money on custom packaging, custom boxes, custom everything, just from the aspect of, you don't know if that product is going to work out just yet, right? And that could be an extra couple $500,000 out of your pocket for custom stuff. So what I would highly advise is if you're doing a test right now for sending stuff in, do the first round with just the regular boxes. If it seems like the product's working out, spend that money. Do extra custom packaging. It usually also shouldn't cost that much to do like at least basic custom, throw your label, get your label stamped on a box. I would very much advise you do that just from an aspect of making sure that your product can't be seen as like generic. Right. So make sure you get a stamp on there, but you don't have to, leagues and bounds of custom packaging. I don't know if I don't have a box around me, but I mean, like there's like this box. I can show you guys where like this, for instance, this is fully generic, right? Nobody would have any idea what brand this is, what product this is, but I should have put a stamp on there because otherwise I just see it as generic. They don't even have their label and everything. So it technically is. All right. Rosina, offering coupon code to influencers audience. Traffic is attribution link connected by coupon code will be made public. Want to restrict coupon benefits to attribution link traffic. Only how? Exactly like that. So the attribution link is going to be the first and foremost thing. You can actually, with attribution, sometimes you can set up just specific promotions through it, but the coupon code is going to be linked to that attribution. So just make sure that when you're setting up, you only do it that way. And you should be fine to go there. Typically, you should also make sure it's a promo code, not just like a regular coupon. Arlene, a lot of ways that I used to change the brand name has been blocked off by Amazon. Do you know any way I can change the brand name? Yeah. Couple of different ways you can do this. So the best way to go about changing a brand name, and this is only if you're actually changing it to something that's correct. Take a picture of your product with your phone. So just take your phone, put your product right here. If it's this Fiji bottle, take a picture of it, right? Have the product packaging with your label and your brand name on there, very visible, and then send that in with brand registry with your request. That's going to be a very crucial step here that I think a lot of people miss. That will actually make it so that brand registry can see, oh, you're trying to change it to the correct branded product packaging name. And that's the best way to work. If you're just trying to change a brand name for like no reason whatsoever, you're going to have a ton of issues there. But that way is going to be your best route when going through brand registry with it. Let's see here. Let's go to our surrogate journey to parenthood. Okay. Can I ship inventory into Amazon if it leads into October? When is the latest I can have my shipment delivered into Amazon? I plan to have it placed in multiple locations. I mean, you can have it shipped in any time. If you're talking about wanting to have product in there for Q4, I think, again, Amazon will release the latest date. Before, it's been, things like you have to have it by like November 20th. You have to have it, as early as like October 30th sometimes. Like, so they'll release a exact date. Prime Day, for instance, it's June 20th. So usually that's 3 to 5 week lead time, right? So just make sure that you have all of your products in by June 20th for Prime Day. And then Amazon will come out and say, hey, here's the date for Christmas sales, essentially. Let's see. Maxwell. We're an agency and signing a new client. They have current. Did I answer this one? I did answer this one. Let's go to Sticks and Bones. Can I ship inventory? Oh, welcome back, actually. Can I ship inventory into Amazon? Oh, we answered that too. Did I? Am I out here? Where am I at? Here we are. How do you give away for first product launch in supplement category? The only real way you can give away product, right, would be large coupon codes. So you could do attribution links, work with somebody through UGC, and make your product essentially from promo and coupon and then deals $0. Give it away that way. You could also do Vine. I do not recommend this at all. Supplements, especially for Vine, is just waiting for the review. It's been 10 minutes and I still don't feel anything. That's how supplements on Vine typically go. So I would not do that. I would probably stick, if you really have to, if you're trying to give it away, to the coupon promo code situation. That's going to be your best bet. Let's see. Viper, I think. How can we find sans search for Amazon influencer? There used to be a place in Amazon ads. Yeah, career connections. Let's see if I have access on this account. I don't think I do, but I could. I gotta find a new account for this, apparently. Yeah, I don't have access. But if you go to your advertising console, and then go to, I believe it's branded content. Let's see here. Brand content. Yes, I actually do have access. So, oh, wrong screen. If you come to career, your advertising console and then go to brand content, you can go to Career Connections. They've released it to pretty much everyone at this point. So that's the only thing that's where I would go, is just go to those brand content and then Career Connections, and you can do it there. All right, Joshua. We manufacture our products and we pack and ship to FBA ourselves. I have a shipment that has several missing items across several cases. I am attempting to reconcile. In order to get Amazon to investigate the missing items, they want me to provide some documents for proof of ownership, i.e. signed packing slips or invoice. And proof of delivery. We used Amazon's partner carrier to send our shipment to FBA, so we cannot get access to the other document they are asking for, which is to verify. And where's the other part of this? Yeah, I can't see the other part of this, Joshua. Let me see. Fortunately, I can't get the other part. That being said, I kind of get where you're probably at here. One, get your manufacturer invoices for your product. Make sure you have an idea of how much product you have gotten in X amount of time. Two, make sure that you can still get the one document of them picking up. How much should they pick it up for? They should have picked it up from somewhere. Make sure that you have that. Three, if all else fails, hire My Refund Guy. It's a service we offer to fix this exact type of thing. So we can absolutely do that for you. But the biggest thing is just make sure you have those two documents. This is really annoying thing that Amazon wants, but as long as you have a document saying, hey, here is how much they picked up and they signed off on it, that's usually good enough. Sticks and bones. I've shared Wi-Fi when I go to a friend's house, but never lived together. Would Amazon know that I've shared my Wi-Fi or someone has shared their Wi-Fi with mine, even though we don't live together? And what if their friend who's never shared a Wi-Fi but is friends with them purchases my product? Do I get red flag? If that friend leaves a review, you and the reviews, sticks and bones. No, I mean technically yes. Amazon can see Wi-Fi, they can see MAC address, things like that. They don't utilize that for things like reviews, I don't believe. They're usually looking at that kind of stuff to make sure that you aren't, having multiple selling accounts and whatnot. But even that, they don't really care about these days. So I think you're looking way too into it again, sticks and bones. I wouldn't worry about the Wi-Fi that much. Computer, that's a little bit different. You don't want to be logging into two separate things from the same exact computer. Wi-Fi, you get a little tricky up in there as well. Yes, but that's also mainly for seller accounts, not for things like reviews. If cost per click is 2.0 and the bid is 1.0, should I wait until cost per click is close to the bid before I lower it? If you're paying $2 for a cost per click, but your bid is $1, you need to change your campaign. That more than likely means you have an up and down campaign and you're just going to continue hitting that cost per click. But also if you bid at just $1, you're never going to actually see that campaign do anything because it's telling you exactly how much people are paying to click on that, which is $2. And that is determined by how much people are spending on the advertisements. So that's kind of the answer there. Joshua, I want to change my brand logos. How do I do that? You can just change your brand logos. That's fine. I mean, that's not an issue on Amazon. You're changing brand name. That's going to be the exact same thing, Joshua. And thanks for that's going to be the exact same thing there that I was kind of just talking about of taking a picture take a picture of your product with your product packaging. Make sure that the brand name is very visible on both of them and send that to brand registry. But for brand logo, just make a new logo. I mean, you can just change your brand logo anytime. Brand name and trademark and all of that is a little different. Let's see, where are we at? If that friend leaves a review, yeah, I just kind of cover that. So are there qualifications for products that feature on Amazon Prime Day? No. I mean, the biggest thing is, what do you have? A lightning deal? Sure, you have to pay for that. I would just do Prime exclusive discounts. That's going to be your best for Prime Day, but there's no qualification for what you can, like there was with the spring sale. Ivy. Hi, we are trying to reinstate a removed product in Canada for supplements. Oof. We already submitted documents. Amazon advised us to create a new listing. I'm concerned to lose all the reviews of that product. Create the new listing, and then from there, you can merge the two listings together. That's probably what I would try and do to keep it. You'd also put the removed product as a child variation under a parentage there. Just keep it out of stock, and then you get all of those, and then eventually it'll fall off. That would be probably the easiest way to tackle that. Let's see. Maxwell. To clarify for our brand that the distributor is selling on their VC account. The brand doesn't have access. Would brand registry be able to help us separate the brand into its own VC account? No. Unfortunately not. No. So again, Vendor Central supersedes like everything with a product. It just does because Amazon essentially is the one selling the product at that point. So Amazon gets to choose most everything. You can petition to them, obviously, and try and change things on the VC side, and they'll probably approve it majority of the time, but you can't just like full separate everything. If you have two different brands, then yeah, but No, if it's the same brand registry, vendor central, all of that is just tied together. We got another 10, 15 minutes here, guys, just as an FYI. A lot of questions to get through in that time, though. Not sure we'll get through them all today. Did I just answer this one? Our listing in Canada became knowledgeable. Some we're selling it before other sizes and color are showing, but some is ineligible. How to get listing back in our Canada store? I mean, it depends on what the reason it's ineligible for is. Is it a product issue? Do you need documentation? Does your product include bamboo and you need to include the certification there? There's a lot of reasons that could be. If you have more info on Ivy as to what they're saying for ineligibility, I would check the listing and see what the search suppression is by chance and go from there. Which is best tool for Amazon private label? That's a broad question, but I guess Helium. Gio, thanks for answering all my questions. It's been a tough week for me. I think I deserve a weekend getaway. All the best from the Philippines. Love it, Gio. I think you do as well. Everyone deserves a little getaway every now and then. I'll actually use that just as a little FYI for everyone. I'll say this at the end as well. Here in the next 2 weeks, I will be gone. Actually, I'm going on my own little trip. We will have some replacements for me. We'll have 2 other brand directors, Shane and Ben, will be covering for me on the 24th and the 31st, I believe. So I'll be here next week, but then following weeks, they'll be covering for me. Oh, I lost my place there. Where was I at? Thank you. What is the best way to put tracking IDs in shipment plan? Because as we have a lot of IDs, putting manually takes too long. What is the best way? I mean, you could get a manual. It depends on how you're getting your tracking IDs, right? So are you getting them via ShipStation? Are you getting them via UPS? What are you doing? Connect whatever you're getting them through to your Amazon account. I mean, there's a ton of free services out there that do exactly this. That would look into, I think Amazon even owns one of them at this point. So just whatever you're getting your tracking IDs or anything from, put it in there. Let's see. Can you share your PPC optimization workflow? Are you optimizing via bulk sheets only or campaign manager? I do both. So we have a ton of videos on our YouTube channel on this. I would definitely check them out. We also have our PPC Mastery Summit coming up next week. I would definitely check that out if you can. Look it up, just my Amazon guy, PPC Mastery Summit. It will be great. I do some reviews in there, and I actually talk exactly about that exact thing. Yep, the ppcmasterysummit.com. Go there, check it out. I think it's like $9 to attend. Either way, I do them all. So if I'm optimizing one campaign or something, I like looking in the back end of Amazon. If I'm just doing, everything all together, I definitely will use a bulk sheet, but it just depends on the account and what I'm trying to accomplish. My competitors keep adding variation to get more reviews. I reported to Amazon for 3-4 times, and they also blocked the other variation. Now Amazon stopped listening to my reports. What can I do? Oh, yeah. This is a problem. So I guess the thing I'm not understanding is keep adding variation to get more reviews. I report to Amazon. Yeah, I mean, if they're adding more variation, they're allowed to do that if it's their own listing. There's not much you can really do against that. Add your own variations, right? Amazon will eventually maybe take them down, but you gotta wait for that and wait for a customer usually to do something there. Was Amazon's long-term storage thing they just rolled out that is cheaper? I forgot what it's called. Can you elaborate on this, and is it worth it? Yeah, that is called AWD, Amazon Warehousing Distribution. You can get there. Let me open this up. You can get there by going to, I believe, where is it? Inventory. Yeah, store and distribute under the inventory tab. I talked a little about this last week, so I won't spend a ton of time, but go here, can create shipments. It's essentially Amazon's version of a 3PL. It's a little bit cheaper than FBA. It helps you avoid inbound placement fees as well because they will just auto ship from AWD. You can also set up auto replenishment, which they just allowed for AWD. So that works as well, where it'll auto send inventory to FBA when you need it, and you can just keep AWD stocked. Let's see. Now tell me what about a new person who have learned and want to sell its services and starting phase. What should do a new person who haven't had a portfolio or anything? Create content. If you don't have a portfolio or anything, create content, or we have a intern program. We'll teach you everything we know here. The best way to get experience is just to start it. Yeah, best way. Sticks and bones. If I have two ASINs to launch, do I set them up as two separate listings to gain reviews from each and then rejoin them to one parent? Or should I have one as a parent created as a variant, still create the second ASIN and its own, then join them? Sorry if the words seem weird. I'm referring to ASIN. It's a typo. Yeah, no worries. Yeah, so sticks and bones, I would definitely for this create if there are different variations, create two different listings and then wait for the reviews, maybe do Vine, whatever you're going to do there, and then parent them together under one child and then go from there. That's the best way to do it. If you can get more reviews by doing that, absolutely do it. Adriana, thank you. You're very welcome. Let's see here. Jan, how do I spend on product photography and A+ content on a new product if you do not know whether it will work? It will work. Would you spend on video? I know there's a range, but just want to hear your thoughts. Yeah, so this is a tricky situation. I mean, you have the choice of either you don't know a product's going to work, so do you spend the money and time and effort building everything out, or do you just go all in with it? I would typically say you're better off going in as much as possible for a reasonable price, right? So you don't have to get top of the line videos made. You don't have to get top of the line A+ made. I mean, A+, we do it fairly cheaply here. We do pictures and whatnot and graphics as well. So, I mean, like, it depends on what you're doing with the product, right? You can always optimize after the fact. So just do what makes sense for you, but make sure your listing is still appealing to the point where people will want to purchase it. What's an attribution link? That's a great question. I don't think that's a dumb question at all. That's a great question. Let me pull this up real quick. Here is an attribution link. If we go to, here it is. Let me share my screen. Here we go. So if you come over to advertising, come down to measurement and reporting, you can go to Amazon Attribution. Amazon Attribution lets you create a link that you can then send out on social media. You can have it used on Facebook, TikTok, Google, anything for QR codes for all I care. And what it does is when someone comes and uses that specific attribution link to go to your product, you can then have them purchase the product from that link. It will track everyone who came from that link. And then on top of that, you also, if you're signed up for brand referral bonus program, you get 10% off of referral fees for that using it. So that's Amazon Attribution. Great question, though. Forgot my first question. How about this? I want to change my brand's logo. How do I do that? Is this really live? Yes. You did get it. Okay. Yeah, Joshua, if you're still around, yes, absolutely live. I don't have career connection section. Can I apply? Yeah, you can apply. You just have to submit a case to seller support. Let them know that you want access to it. Let them know as well in there. Just throw in there, hey, I want access to the career connections program. I have some people who have been asking me to be a part of it, so I can send them products and they can do stuff for me, and they will absolutely get you in. It's no longer technically a beta anymore, so they're a lot more lenient on just letting anyone in. All right, I'm going to answer for the next 5 minutes or so here, guys, and then I'm going to have to hop off. How far in advance should I set up Amazon influencer program prior to launch, or do it after I launch? I would definitely try and do it prior to launch. I mean, it's make sure that they're not putting the content out before your product is launched, obviously, but depends on if you're talking about like the career connections. Career connections at launch is a little iffy in my opinion. I don't know if it's like a brand new store. That will change some things. If it's a age store and you have access to it, I would wait until you launch to do it, but try and make sure you're already creating the campaign around the time that you're going to be launching. So it would be best if you can get some of the content put out like the same week that you launch. Just try and time it up. Let's see. I know, but certain things come up and I don't know the answer. You're good. You're saying that if my friend's family and his family or friends of theirs or wherever may live are able to purchase my products and leave a review, how would Amazon know? Kind of, exactly. I mean, the reality is, does Amazon probably know? Probably. Amazon knows a lot, but I'm not super worried about it for you. I mean, how in Seller Central do I change the logo? I have a new one created, but I cannot seem to recall where the function is in Seller Central. Oh, okay. So that's that's a way different question, Joshua. Thank you for making that clarification. So there's a few different places you can do this. Oh, this sucks. I still don't have access to it. So you have to go, Joshua, for that two different places. I'm going to tell you. First one, go to the gear icon in the top right of your thing. Go to your info and policy section, and there should be a little section there where you can upload under your profile a logo. Do it there. And then the second place would be for your brand store. You have to go to, and let me see if I have access to this here. I don't think I do. Maybe I do. I do. All right. Second place here, Joshua, would be you can go to your brand profiles, and then you can also go to your stores, and you can upload them both there as well. That's going to be the, I guess, technically three places, but really two places where you can upload your logo. Ali, heading out. See you next week. See you next week, sir. Thank you for being part. I heard there's a method of doing both FBA and FBM on a product. So if FBA goes out of stock, it doesn't hurt rating. Have you ever heard of it? Is it valid? Yeah, absolutely. All you have to do is create a secondary listing, make sure that it's FBA, or make sure it's an FBM listing. So you want to create two of the same exact listing, make sure one is FBA, one is FBM. And yeah, you can have them under the same exact ASIN. No issues whatsoever. It's something we preach to do all the time if you have the ability to do FBM. Could you please... could you add Turkish subtitles to your videos? Thanks. Not sure if we're able to, but I will have the team look at that, definitely. All right. Let's see here. We got 3 more questions, guys, and then we're going to pop on off here. Do I set them up as a variance for both ASINs? Yes. But you want to start them off as their own listings before you set them up as variations. I'm not sure what they're doing, but I can see 100 reviews one day and 300 the next. The reviews are not the same product, but random products. Yeah, they're just adding in products for the review. It's definitely against terms of service. There's not a lot you can do. You could log in from a customer side and report them that way, but unfortunately, Amazon will catch them very quickly on it. It's review manipulation is something that they take pretty seriously. So unfortunately, not much you can do, but just kind of wait, maybe submit from the customer side, but can't really do anything on the seller side. All right. And then I'm going to answer this last one, then we'll get going. Have you had to add state pesticide certifications? How to do that? Yeah. So you're going to have to add it under your compliance documentation. So Amazon has this section where you have to manage your compliance. And then from there, you can add any certifications. They will also typically ask for this if it's actually required. So if it's required, it'll just have a little box there where you can just click submit and upload it from that aspect. So not a huge issue. Just make sure that you actually have the certification for the state you're in. So there we go. All right, guys. You are awesome. Thank you for dealing with all my review questions. You're fine, Sticks and Bones. It's been a funny little story for me the last 2 weeks or so. So, all right, guys. I'm going to call it there today. Before we head out, I'll cover a couple of things here. So, for those of you who do not know, my name is Noah Wickham. I am a brand director here at My Amazon Guy. I am here every single Friday. I will be here next week at 12 p.m. Eastern. The weeks after that, I am actually out of town, and I will have 2 of my other directors, Shane and Ben, covering for me. They are fantastic. I'm sure everyone here will love them. But I will be here next week. Absolutely. For those of you who don't know, we are My Amazon Guy. We are a full service Amazon marketing agency. You can check us out. We have a ton of different services that you can look at. We do everything from advertising, design. We do even trademark. We also have a service we're really pumping right now, My Refund Guy. We're doing a ton of stuff over there. We do full service, as I said, accounts, audits, anything you need. If you liked this and you are looking to learn some things on Amazon, we have an entire section dedicated to courses. You can go here, check out all of our courses for Amazon sellers. You can also go to magschool.com. check out all of our courses over here. I would highly advise it if you are new or even an advanced seller. Great place to learn. On top of that, if you are looking for coaching, so you like this Q&A, you have a very specific problem you want me to take on or try and help you handle, go coach or to the coaching page, and you can actually schedule a 30-minute session with myself or one of our other directors. So you can come coaching. You can see me right here, and we can get some one-on-one time. We also have jobs. We are constantly hiring. We need more brand managers. We need more account specialists, everything in between. Go to myamazonguy.com/jobs, apply. We also do paid internships. So if you don't know anything whatsoever and you're just getting started and wanting to learn, go to myamazonguy.com / I think intern is what it is or internships. There we go. Bottom of the screen. Check it out. So definitely some cool. And past that as well, final plug here, which I don't think we have a bottom of the screen scroller for it, but go to LinkedIn. Check me out. LinkedIn.com/in/Noah Wickham. Check me out. I'm posting stuff every single day at this point. I would also highly advise you go follow us on our My Amazon Guy LinkedIn account as well. We're trying to really boost our social presence there. You can see me right here. So absolutely. If you guys have any other questions or anything, feel free to throw them out to podcast@myamazonguy.com. I'll answer them all there. And I will see you guys next week. Thank you for joining.